There comes a moment on the path of awakening that feels almost impossible to explain to someone who hasn't lived through it. It's the moment when your life starts to make sense, not because the pain disappears, not because everything becomes easy, but because something inside you finally steps back far enough to see the design behind your experiences. This is the moment when you stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start whispering, "Oh, now I understand." This is the phase of awakening I call seeing the hidden design. 1. The shift from confusion to clarity. Before awakening, your life feels like scattered pieces, separate events, random pains, strange dreams, coincidences you can't explain. But when your consciousness expands, those scattered pieces start forming a pattern. What once felt random begins to line up. What once felt cruel begins to reveal purpose. And what once broke you begins to make you whole. It's not that life changes. It's that you finally rise high enough to see the thread connecting everything. 2. The hidden design behind your life. In this phase, you begin to realize some people weren't random encounters. They were turning points. Some losses weren't punishments. They were openings. Some dreams were not dreams. They were messages. Some impulses were not accidents. They were instructions. Some pains were not meaningless suffering. They were awakenings waiting to happen. And suddenly, your childhood, your relationships, your heartbreaks, your gifts, your timing, your intuition, all start speaking the same language. Not the language of the mind, but the language of the soul. 3. You realize you're not learning, you're remembering. This is one of the most beautiful discoveries on the path of awakening. You realize you are not learning some new spiritual truth. You are remembering what you always knew. Before the forgetting, you begin to see why you were born into the family you chose, why certain wounds shaped you, why you met certain souls, why certain moments felt destined, why certain dreams stayed with you, why certain losses cracked you open. You begin to sense the blueprint, the deeper intelligence that has been guiding you long before you were aware of it. And for the first time, you feel aligned with your own story. 4. Understanding the purpose behind pain. This part is tender because it's not about glorifying suffering or pretending pain is beautiful. Pain hurts. Loss hurts. Grief hurts. But through awakened eyes, you begin to see something else. Pain weakens the old identity, so your true self can emerge. Pain softens the ego, so your soul can speak. Pain breaks the illusion, so clarity can enter. Pain empties you, so love can fill you again. You don't say, "I'm glad it happened." You say, "I understand why it happened." And that understanding is what sets you free. 5. When your life starts lining up, as you step into this phase, you begin to notice subtle changes. Your intuition becomes sharper. Synchronicities increase. The right words appear at the right time. People enter or leave your life with purpose. Your path begins to unfold, one step at a time. You stop forcing. You start allowing. You stop chasing. You start attracting. And for the first time, you feel guided from the inside. This is the moment when you realize it's not that life suddenly got better. It's that you finally learned how to see. 6. Closing, the beginning of true remembering. When everything begins to make sense, when the puzzle pieces start connecting, that is not the end of awakening. It is the beginning, because now, you're not living from the mind, you're living from the soul that remembers. You're not becoming someone new, you're returning to who you were before the forgetting. This is the phase of remembering. This is the phase of clarity. This is the phase where your life finally feels like it fits. And this is where the real awakening begins.